Mama always told me that I should play nice. She didn't know you and she gave me that advice.
Welcome back for another incredible show at Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater, Florida. Before you take your seat, here are some pre-show activities you can experience. When you arrive, you can enjoy convenient, free on-site self-parking, along with valet options and a convenient rideshare area. When you enter, take a moment to admire the revamped and expanded grand lobby that includes the Kate Tiedemann and Ellen Cotton Cabaret Theater and featured art by the world-famous Stephen Palladino. Take a photo as a keepsake. Looking for a quick snack or drink before the show? Make sure to use the new mobile ordering app by scanning the QR code, placing your order, and picking it up at the John Geigel Bar. This helps to beat lines and get your refreshments quick and easy. Additional concession stands are available in the Grand Concourse. At the east entrance of the building, the England Family Music Garden offers wonderful happy hour options, including a full-service bar, concessions like salads, sandwich wraps and smoothies, and live music to kick the night off right. Don't forget to get your picture taken with the garden's signature art piece, a sculpture by nationally renowned artist Clayton Schwartz. If you've got a bigger appetite, feel free to go upstairs to the Dimmitt Lounge, where we offer pre-show party options that include heavy appetizers and dessert. Packages start at $25 per person. Be sure to buy yours in advance. Want the ultimate VIP experience? Become a paid member and relax in the Hoffman Family Dress Circle Lounge, which offers a beautiful, exclusive area away from the crowds, along with fine wine options and other refreshments. On your way into the theater, make sure to grab our Spotlight program book. The time has arrived. Walk in, hand your ticket to an usher, and they'll help escort you to your seat. When the lights fade down, it's time to enjoy the world-renowned entertainment that only Ruth Eckerd Hall can offer.
Once in your life, you find her, someone who turns your heart around, and next thing you know, you're closing down the town. Best that you can do is fall in love.
Good evening. I'm your host, Jill Martin, and this is Worth the Price of Admission. We are live on Chapters Network. We are also broadcasting live on Tan Talk Radio in Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay, Florida, FM 106.1, 102.3, 104.3, AM 1340, 1350, and 1400. My guest tonight is Mike Pagliarulo, Part 2. He will share with us about his baseball career, raising kids in the big leagues, and what he has learned from it all, and current research and development for making better players while lowering the risk of injury. Hi, Mike.
How you doing, Jill?
Good.
Great to be here.
Thank you for coming back. Your dad was a minor league ball player.
Yeah, he was. When I was growing up, I knew that he played, and he was really the only coach I had. And he didn't say too much, but he just keep your head down, be quick, but not hard, and stay in front of the ball, and he throw batting practice to us. So it was great having him around. And then even in the minor leagues, I guess he hurt his back, and then ruptured a disc or something. Came home and then had me. So I guess I kind of ruined his career.
But he went to the Cubs after the minor leagues for a year and a half, right?
Right,
Okay.
in the minor league system with them.
All right. And your family had a family business, Lorraine Handbags of Boston, true Bostonians, huh?
Yeah, well, my grandfather came over from Italy and started this business. Took my dad in after he got done playing, and they had that business right in downtown Boston for many years.
Really?
Yeah.
And so mom was a homemaker? She
was a homemaker, and then worked at the factory when she had some time. It was a family business, basically. I've been crazy about it because everyone's always yelling at each other, arguing all the time. I'm like, I don't want to do that at work and then at home too. So,
bunch of Italians getting together, right?
Oh my gosh!
All right. So you were born in 1960, Medford, Mass. How many siblings?
I have three. I have two sisters. My youngest is Shanine. She has cerebral palsy. She's taken care of by the state of Massachusetts now. My sister, Lisa's 4 years younger than me. She's a nurse. My brother's a real estate agent. And, he's 2 years younger than me. So all four of us.
They didn't even play sports?
Yeah, my brother played baseball, went to Miami for a year. And, back then they didn't have many sports for women as much as they do now. And I think it's great. Having a daughter, I know that's great. But there just wasn't a lot of opportunities. It was cheerleading and maybe some basketball or something, But now they have so many things girls can play. And so my sister was a cheerleader, that's all she could do. There weren't as many opportunities back then.
And you went to Medford High. And then you went to the University of Miami in 79, majored in finance and economics. Yeah. How was that?
That was great. I mean, I
help you today? Does it help you today?
It does help me today. I went three years there. I was drafted after my third year, and probably should have gone back. I really wish I did, only because it's you learn so much in college, and I was the type of person that I needed to go to college. If I signed right out of high school, it would have been bad for me. I still had a lot of growing to do, maybe a little naive, whatever, but. It was a great experience. I loved it, and I learned a lot about baseball, learned about life, and learned a lot in school.
Everyone knows it takes hard work to be the best, and one University of Miami baseball great who epitomizes that saying is Mike Pagliarulo. Pags came to the Hurricanes as a freshman from Massachusetts, and it wasn't long before he was a member of the starting lineup. Hall of Fame coach Ron Frazier.
Miami did a lot for Mike. And he did a lot for the university. I think that what we did, I think he came down as a good baseball player and strong, very strong, great work ethics, and we polished him up. I felt that that's what Miami did for him. They polished him up. We played a lot of ball games, and he had the opportunity to play on a pretty good high level in college baseball. And but the old thing about first on the field and last off, that's Mike Pags.
As a sophomore, Pagliarulo hit .333 with 5 homers and 49 runs batted in, and added 6 homers with 40 ribbies in his junior year. Pags is tied for 10th place on Miami's career doubles list with 41, and is also ranked 10th in career triples. In each of his 3 seasons, the Hurricanes advanced to the College World Series. Mike was selected in the 1981 Major League Draft by the New York Yankees and went on to embark on a long career in the major leagues. Over 11 seasons, Pags hit 134 homers and drove in over 500 runs.
He worked harder than anyone I've ever seen out there. And everybody works hard to be a major leaguer and to be the best they can be. Mike worked a little bit harder than a lot of people, and I think that's how he got where he became a good college ball player, a great college baseball player, and a major leaguer.
Tonight, we welcome Mike Pagliarulo into the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame.
So you debuted from the minors to the majors in '84, and you retired in '96. You're drafted in the '81 6th-round draft by the legendary scout Fred Ferrara.
Yeah, Fred, he's drafted so many players, so many great players, and he was great. He came to my house and signed me, and we talked for a little while, and hey, I asked Fred, why did you sign me? And he said, I like shaking guys' hands, and they got good strong hands and forearms. He goes, plus I saw you going on the cage all the time. I knew something was going to happen. So Fred was great, and I'm glad, because everywhere he went there was World Series. He went with Lou Piniella, I guess, to Cincinnati. They won there, and then afterwards he went wherever Lou went, and he won a few World Series. He's a great scout.
Yeah, great guy too.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. We used to go to the track with him all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so minor leagues, great record. And how was it like in the minors?
The Yankee system I felt was the best system in baseball. And it's not like today where they move guys up fast. We were told by the great Bill Livesey, who basically, him and Jack Butterfield, who basically structured the whole minor league system for George. And he said, look, you're going to stay in this city and you're going to play here all year. You're not going to move anywhere unless you're doing really, really terrible or you're doing really, outstanding. He said, but you got to learn how to go through slumps, go through good times, and deal with different teammates and managers. And you have to learn that before you get to the big leagues. It was all part of the development, which in the 80s, we had more players in the major leagues than any team in baseball. So, and they were doing something right, obviously. And so I really enjoyed my time there and, learned a lot. We always had great coaches too, all around us.
So they called you up July 84. Toby Harrah got hurt. And you had a heck of a first game. Tell us about it.
I got called up at 2 a.m. I got the call, and then at 5 a.m. I had to flight out. I don't know why it took me all day to get from Norfolk, Virginia to Minnesota. And so I ended up getting there about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, go right to the field. And but I wasn't tired at all. I was actually I couldn't even spit actually. and I got 3 hits that day, and it was after that it was all
took over third base for the rest of the season.
Yep.
And keeping it until he got traded in '89. That's quite something.
Yeah.
It says here that your slugging percentage stayed at .450 for all those years. Your best year, 32 homers, 9th overall in the American League in '87. Pretty darn good, huh?
I'm not the type of person that kept a lot of the stats, and I couldn't tell you
Which is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't tell you how many home runs I have or what I hit or anything like that. I just, what I remember most about the time there is certainly the experience I had, the people around me, and that's what made it so much fun and fulfilling for me, and why I have no regrets either. So. I really enjoyed my time. The only regret maybe I have in '89, I probably shouldn't have played after I had that bad elbow surgery because I played like crap and they had to trade me, and that was a sad day. But but I had a wonderful time in New York. I learned so much.
So how did it feel to replace the legacy of all those great third basemen?
Well, Greg he's a good guy, and he could have made it real tough for me.
Greg
but
Nettles.
it was tough. It was tough enough coming in because you boot one ball and it's like, bring back Nettles, everybody's going right now. And and he was the greatest guy, and I learned a lot from him though too, playing third base, talking to him and about hitting and everything, and playing in New York. He was just a great mentor. I wish I had him longer, but he was great, and he was tough to follow, but only in New York it's tough.
So you're a left-handed power hitter, hit left through right, and so ambidexterity is a strange, fascinating trait that it seems to be shared by great athletes, particularly baseball players. Roger Maris, Ted Williams, Yogi Berra, Wade Boggs, Ty Cobb, and 32% of the best ever in the big leagues hit left and through right.
Really? I didn't know that.
You're a minority.
One of the things I did when I got into coaching, I was with Pittsburgh at first, and Clinton Hurdle one day said, you guys should come up with a hobby, get your mind off the game. I'm like, hobby? How the heck is that going to help any of the hitters? Got a hitting coach and infield coach. So one day I went out to the backfield, really far back, with a few baseballs and started throwing left-handed. And I said, maybe I'll throw left-handed. And so at first, for the first couple of weeks, it wasn't so good. But then I was able to knock the ball off the tee in the batting cage, and I was able to throw batting practice to them left-handed, because some guys like left-handed, some guys like right-handed. And so I threw left-handed. And someone said, how can you throw that much? I said, well, this one was only like a couple of months old, and this one's really old. So my right one. So it was good. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Having graduated from Medford High, how did the old neighborhood take care of that? How did they handle that when you came back to play at Fenway? What did they do to you?
Welcoming me as a Yankee was not easy, but it was. I was used to that. My house got egged every Halloween, still does.
So you were a traitor.
Yeah, that's what they looked at me as. My close friends, they were real happy for me, and it was real good because there's really not many players that played. Bill Mumbo-Kett was the only other guy from Medford that played the big leagues, and not many from the state of Massachusetts. So it's a rarity, but it was good. So I still get a razz, but I kind of like being a Yankee up there. Because I'm not leaving.
Okay. So do you remember your first major league home run?
My first major league home run was the first homestand back at Yankee Stadium. It was off Brett Saberhagen, and it was a fastball, I believe. And afterwards, the owner sent me down a big thing of champagne. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the heck? I did a home run. I get a champagne bottle now. So it was pretty good. It was exciting. Being in Yankee Stadium, I've never played in a place that big before, and you run around the bases. It was like the crowd was so loud. They kind of moved you around the bases. You didn't have to run very hard. So it was pretty exciting.
So pretty formidable lineup you were a part of too in the 80s. You had Dave Winfield, you had Ricky Henderson, Willie Randolph, Don Mattingly, playing with my late husband. Did you ever see him discriminate against a ball player because of the color of his skin? Or?
Billy, that's absurd. I wouldn't even think that of Billy. It never comes to mind. First of all, there aren't many baseball players that think that way, but Billy never. I mean, he joked around with everybody the same exact way. It didn't matter who you are, but color, nationality didn't matter. You were going to get made fun of a little bit, you know what I mean? And that's how he is. That's how they did it. And but he never ever showed that trait, which is a bad one. And and one of the wonderful things about the game of baseball is, I myself never thought of color or nationality too much. I thought it was either grays or whites. Or pinstripes or grays. We're all on the same thing, we're doing the same thing, brother. That's how it is. And I know that's how Billy was. I'm positive of that, actually. So it's silly that even comes up.
How was George?
George was tough, but he was great to play for. At first you're kind of shocked when you're not used to playing for somebody like that. But if you think about it, I mean, how many other owners out there want to win that badly? And there weren't that many. And I thought to myself, God, how lucky am I to play for this guy who's, let him rant and rave all he wants. He's the owner. He's going to help us win, and that's the whole goal of playing. I mean, everybody wants to win. Everyone wants to win the World Series. I hope that's why you sign a contract. And so that was the goal every year. And so, having the owner be part of that and backing you is really cool. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on. Some players get a little disgruntled, but not liking some of the comments. But you know what? Hey, it's New York. You got to deal with it. You better deal with it. He's the owner.
And Billy would go out and fight for you guys with the umpires, huh?
Oh, Billy liked that. Yeah, he liked to fight. I think he was and he fought with George, but that was all good because it was all about doing the best thing for the team. It was all about Billy standing up for the guys on the team or standing up for what we were doing that day or what he felt right about. And George would back him, and he would argue. It was, really a good scenario, in a good combination. And, I wish we could have those days back, but they're very fond memories and very vivid, though.
So you played 5.5 years for the Yankees.
Yep.
And then you had some arm issues and you ended up getting traded to the Padres in '89. How did that feel?
Well, the sun felt beautiful out there. I mean, it was so beautiful. La Jolla and, oh my gosh, San Diego, what a place. I was really sad about going. I didn't want to, but, I wasn't playing very well and probably shouldn't have played, but that's how the game goes. And so, you move on from that. And, but I appreciate everything that was done for me. And then I, went to one closes, another one opens. And so that's how I looked at it. And then after that, after San Diego, and it wasn't the Yankees, and I was expecting something to be similar to that at least. And it wasn't the Yankees. And so
you played with Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn, Jack Clark, and played with some great players. And Robbie Alomar and really Benito Santiago and Pudge Rodriguez. All these guys were great players, and I enjoyed playing with them all. We were competitive one year, and then another year it was kind of fell apart a little bit. But that's how it is. San Diego was a wonderful place. But after that season, I went to the winter meetings by myself, and I said I just got to get the right people around me, and so I went there and I met with Tony La Russa, Lou Piniella, and Tom Kelly and the Twins. I remember Tom Kelly saying, why what are you doing out here? The winter meetings by yourself? I said, I just want to get the right kind of coaches around me, the right players around me. I said, because I know I can play and I play good. I said, but some people, they don't coach very, they don't care, and so I need to have someone, and I like someone being on me, you know what I mean? So I need, look, if I mess up, tell me right away. You're not going to hurt my feelings, I promise. Just, I want to learn, I want to get better, and I want to be the best I can be. So 3 weeks after that, I got a phone call from the Twins. Hey, want to play for us? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you went over there and played with Kirby Puckett.
Yeah.
Winning a World Series
Yeah.
in the stadium that you made your debut in. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great with Danny Gladden and,
Yes.
Ken Herbeck, Jack Morris. I mean, some great guys, great players I stay in touch with today. Good people.
And I think we have a video of some of them.
Oh, we do?
Yes, we do.
Oh, my gosh.
Go ahead. Here.
Oh,
He will have Harper behind the plate, and Zach will go into play center. Line drive deep to right field. Going back is Ducey. It's gone. A home run for Mike Pagliarulo. And the Twins lead it 3-2. He hit 6 during the regular season, and Mike Timlin has given a home run to his hitter Mike Pagliarulo and the Minnesota fans exult. Like I said, not much of a pull hitter anymore, but when you get a pitch in this zone, again, the inside part of the plate, look at the barrel of the bat hit the ball in the extension. Veteran hitter like Pagliarulo, one thing in mind, you get a ball on the inside part. One happy fan in this ballpark tonight. His father came down from Massachusetts, both great Boston Bruins fans.
So how did that feel?
Well, that was fabulous. I mean, but my father was there, and my brother, my mother, and they were able to see it. It was a wonderful thrill. I don't know how much sleep we got that night, but that game was a great game. Toronto had the most talent. I felt they had more talent than any team. We had the best team, which is why we won. And it was just a good game. It was managed well. It was played well. We played against some great players. And then, that at that point, that game, after we won that game, it was like we knew we could win now. And it was just the next two games were ours. And so we just played flawlessly. And we
got the ring.
And we got the ring. Yeah, went to Atlanta, got the ring. And that year, I didn't realize that year that when I went over to Minnesota, the year before that, they were in last place. And Atlanta was in last place. Both teams were in last place. And to see them change that quickly, with the players, they get some acquisitions, we get some acquisitions, they get some new players, and it was really great to see, because you can do that in baseball. They don't have to have 5-10 years of rebuilding. You can do it now.
And what was Kirby Puckett like to play with?
Kirby was fun. He was always talking, joking, very generous guy. Very unselfish person, and always
a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, he's fun to watch, fun to play with,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just a great teammate. And there's a great story that I tell a lot of times. It was the middle of the season in '91, and he was going down to first base, and he didn't really run out the ball, and so Tom Kelly pulled him over, and he wanted him to go upstairs because he felt he was too tired to run out that ball. And no, I'm all right. And then the pitch goes in, he goes, "Why don't you go upstairs? I'm telling you." And his voice get louder, and what ended up happening was Puck went upstairs, and it was about the fourth inning. We're playing Oakland, and tied for first place. We ended up losing the game, and so that kind of show you the kind of guy he is. At the end of the game, we all go up the stairs up to the locker room, and there's Puck still in his uniform, and he's got tears in his eyes. He apologized to every player, and you should have seen us play after that day. Oh my gosh, it was like we felt so bad for him, because that's not the kind of guy he is. Not running out the ball. It was just a rocket. He hit back to the pitcher, and he just didn't finish. But we ran the bases hard after that. Boy, it was good. It was a great thing. A great move by the manager too.
So you went on to Baltimore. Then you decided during the strike you went to Japan.
Yep.
What was that like?
That was far.
It was far, huh?
It's got to some of that. It was a great experience for me. Actually, I wanted to stay in Baltimore, but the new ownership took over the team, and they put a freeze on all the contracts. So this offer came up to pay for college for my kids, and so I said, well, I guess I'll do it. So we went over there and had a great experience. Put my son in school over there, and my daughter she was only a couple years old, and so they took him over there. It was great. A lot of trains.
A lot of trains.
So it was good.
So let's see. Move on to family here a little bit. You married your high school sweetheart, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Your best friend.
birthday today too, actually.
Oh, happy birthday, Karen. Awesome. Thank you for sharing your man this evening. Do you remember your first date?
First date was at the movies, actually, because she worked in the movie theater. So I went in and I ate all the snacks and ice creams and everything. It was beautiful. It was a wonderful date for me, anyways. But after that, there was another place we went to down in Cape Cod. But it was all good. I still like those movie treats, though. That was really good. It was such an advantage.
And we have 2 children. You have Mike and Erica.
Yep.
Mike has a little bit of a baseball career.
Yeah, he played well in high school, and then
Dartmouth.
they went to Dartmouth and played there. They won the Ivy League championship there in '09, and he had a very nice college career. And moved on. Now he's living in New York, worked on Wall Street.
Married to Allie. Yes.
Married to Allie, my daughter-in-law. She's fabulous. She's a dentist in downtown Manhattan, and she is best. And they have a great relationship, and they're good together. I love seeing them.
No grandkids yet.
Not yet. Okay. That's something that actually my wife handles that. There's a certain way to push for that, and I don't know the way.
So, and Erica did well in lacrosse.
Yes, she did great. She did well in lots of things, but lacrosse, hockey. But she ended up going to school and playing lacrosse at Rollins College, and she was All-American for 2 years there at Rollins, and they played great too. A lot of fun. It was great watching both kids play, and it was as a parent, although watching baseball is much easier playing than watching. It was
talk
tough.
About raising kids in baseball.
Yeah, raising kids it's not easy because you always have to, you want it to be normal, basically, and you're in a situation that's not normal, flying all these different places. So I had them on certain road trips to certain cities that we could go around and be at. So I tried to rent a house that had some room, and where I played, and had them involved in the community as best we can, whether it's going to the parks or whatever, or fishing or whatever it might be in Minnesota or in San Diego, even Texas. And so the older they got, the more they were able to mingle and interact with the other kids at the ballpark. And I remember my last year was in Texas, and my son was in the outfield shagging with our clubhouse guys' kids, and big Juan Gonzalez gets up there and he's hitting balls out there, but 110 miles an hour. And I'm like, oh my God, come off the field, please. You know what I mean? So, it was just, they had a great experience, I think, and, got to see the world, basically. So, hopefully it helps them in their careers and raising their kids.
Here we go. So at the end of the day, what have you learned from all of this? Life on the road, life in baseball?
That, life is going to give you some good times, and it's going to give you some tough times and all this stuff. But if you stay with what you're passionate about, then things kind of smooth the edges, and it's all good when you look back and you say, I had a wonderful time doing, playing baseball. But I was more excited about the people that I met and the people that helped me, and I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. I would keep it the same way.
And I'm really impressed with how you give back. You're involved with so many charities, and I wish we had time to mention all of them, but one in particular with your mom.
Yeah.
The RIG Foundation and Compassionate Care for ALS.
Yeah, the Compassionate Care did wonderful things for my mother when she had Lou Gehrig's disease there, and she lived at my house. We had a place for her downstairs, an apartment, and it's the meanest disease in the world. And so they had brought different things by, and they help people because it's ALS is, there's no cure, and so it's really about managing pain and making people comfortable. And so they help out, and they feel good about it. And when I started doing that, I felt good about it too. I mean, to help out your mom especially, you try to be the good son you can be, and we had a good team working with us. So.
Well, I'm impressed to take care of your parents. We've done that in our family as well. And once again, Mike, it's such an honor and a pleasure to have you. We didn't get to touch on everything. I hope that you come back because you certainly have a lot to share. And I wish you and your family great success, and happy birthday, Karen, and going forward. And I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. And give me a saddle. I'll be right back.
There we go. Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike. All right. This has been Jill Martin, Worth the Price of Admission, and we will see you next week.